It could be years before—" She interrupted the Earl. "Oh, not the matter of your son. The science behind our heredity." Ready to view the next portrait along the walls, Diana stepped around the Earl of Chestwick, who she left staring at the images of his two sons. Meandering down the long hall, Diana studied the various portraits. She mentally took notes, observing the high frequency of the Chestwick square jawline appearing throughout the generations. Diana paused in front of a painting of a woman that could be no other than the late Countess of Chestwick. The Earl had described his wife in detail with much love and devotion in his tone that Diana believed Randal was the product of a love match, a rare occurrence amongst their set. Staring up at the lady in the painting, words like genteel and poised entered Diana's mind, neither of which Diana had managed to master, despite her mamma's best efforts. Instead, Diana was often caught sprawled upon a rug in front of a fireplace, with a volume full of poetry, or a tome full of philosophic theorems laid out before her. It was her thirst for knowledge and access to such works that had led Diana to boldly introduce herself to the Earl. The Earl? Where had he disappeared to? "My lord?" The old man's deep voice echoed down the hall. "In the study, my dear." How long had she been dawdling in front of the fine reproductions of the Chestwick line? Picking up the hem of her skirts, she marched toward Lord Chestwick's private study. She slowed her pace as she approached the doorway. Smiling at the footman who stood guard at the entrance, Diana said, "A good afternoon to you, Paul." The footman bowed. "My lady." "Would you mind fetching Annie? It's time for us to head back home." Annie wasn't her lady's maid, but it was known between households that Paul had a hankering for Annie, who was one of the Malbury housemaids. Diana wasn't a matchmaker, but she was always happy to involve herself in such schemes if it brought harmony between the two estates. "Stop loitering in the doorway. Come in, come in." The Earl's quill was flying across the parchment before him. Not bothering to look up, the man that was more like a papa to Diana than her own said, "I've devised a new treasure hunt for you." Diana raced over to the desk and flopped into the seat facing the Earl. "Am I to decipher a section of prose? Or shall it be a poem this time?" Exploring the extensive library in search of clues to solve the Earl's puzzles was her favourite pastime during the summer months. The man was extremely clever. Most of his schemes required Diana to visit multiple times in order to solve one of his ingenious word searches. Brows creased, Diana counted the number of days remaining before she, along with her sisters and mamma, were to return to London. 3 blooming days is all she would have to solve the dear man's latest puzzle. Neither. He folded the parchment in half, and half again, before reaching for wax and his seal. "If you remain unmarried after your first season, and return to your family estate unbetrothed, you may come back and attempt to find my most treasured verses." He waved the sealed paper back and forth in between them. "And if I miraculously find a suitable gentleman to marry?" "Burn it." He placed the parchment on his desk and pushed it forward to sit right in front of her. "You will be far too busy taking up residence in your husband's abode." She leaned forward and picked up the parchment. "Why give it to me now?" Diana studied the design stamped into the red wax. The capitalized C was backwards. She rotated the note. "Our family crest, created by my forefathers, utilizes the ancient italic alphabet." The Earl answered her unspoken question before addressing the one she had vocalized. "Perhaps a litmus test." Diana lifted her gaze to stare into the old man's astute but cloudy irises. "Is it your hypothesis that I shall only forego this?" She waved the note in the air. "My love of inquiry for the love of a man?" "Indeed it is."